Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about safe jump setups. A safe jump setup is a really common fighting game strategy that has the, it's part of okizeme. Okizeme is basically this Japanese word, slang term I believe, that it means basically to like refers to some kind of strategy that you employ on someone else's wake up, like as they're getting up from being knocked down. Um, in order to help you get an additional hit into like another combo or whatever. So a safe jump is a precisely timed air to ground jump and attack that's going to let you melee uh, an attack upon someone's wake up, but be able to land in time to block some kind of invincible reversal that they do. Okay, it's a lot of words, but I will explain it very slowly. So, a knockdown, there's actually two types of knockdowns in most fighting games. A hard knockdown is a really common one, but basically, if you look at this guy, if you look at Kai getting up, it kind of takes him forever to get up, and this is what we call a hard knockdown. Most people can get some kind of hard knockdown off their sweep, which is 2D. You can also get another hard knockdown off of throws, but we're not going to be using those in general. I'll explain why in a second. You can also get this from certain special moves, but it's going to depend on what character you're playing. Um, hard knockdown uh, is or it's not the opposite, but it's one of the two knockdowns. The other one is soft knockdown, and a soft knockdown or a techable knockdown is some kind of knockdown you get, but they're able to get up immediately from it, or at least they have an option to. In Strive, you have that option, but in some other games, like BlazBlue, for example, you can choose to tech, but sometimes you don't have to. Like you can go into a hard knockdown, and sometimes you want to do that. But anyway, if you look at this soft knockdown, if you look at Kai, he kind of rolls immediately to get up, and so that doesn't really give me much time to do anything was it to do any fancy setups, so we can't usually get a safe jump off of soft knockdowns. Um, but anyway, here's the safe jump setup. I'm going to be using heavy slash volcanic viper because if you get a clean hit on it, which is basically if you get it to connect at a really like close range, like literally point blank, you'll get a hard knockdown. So here we go. And there you go, that's it. That's the safe jump. It doesn't look like much, but it is a perfectly meaty safe jump, or perfectly meaty like jumping slash. Um, this is, it doesn't look like much, but once we turn on counterattack, so this guy's going to DP as soon as he gets up, it will make much more sense. And there you go. I am basically immune. When I get the specific knockdown, I am immune to DPs. At least my offense is immune to DPs. So this is really strong because I'm basically taking the option away for my opponent to DP. Because if you do, like if you did successfully bait out a DP and you just block it, well the thing to do is from there is just to punish it. Or you can do like whatever you want. You should also know that in this game, oops, I missed it. But in this game, when you recover from doing a dragon punch or something invulnerable, you're usually put in a forced counter hit state, so you can get like a really huge combo if you can take advantage of it. Boom. So anyway, that was like 230 damage off like one block DP. So it's pretty insane on what you can do with it. So was it? Uh, what was I gonna say? So safe jumps are pretty strong, but the thing is that you can't get safe jumps off every kind of hard knockdown. For example, I mentioned earlier that you can get one off a throw, but the issue here with throw is that I take so long recovering from it that I can't like jump. I'm literally holding up forward. Was it? I basically don't have enough time to set up some kind of safe jump setup because while I'm getting a hard knockdown, I don't recover from doing the hard knockdown itself to be able to get anything. So knowing which kind of knock or what kind of knockdowns and what kind of setup you can get from them is really important. Um, but as I said before, um, there's plenty of other characters that have other kinds of safe jumps. Um, for Soul, you can get one off 2D. Oh, that was messed up. I messed up again. Um, but to prove you that, I mean, what if they mash with something else? Would it still hit you? So I have this guy doing like standing P. It should counter hit them like that because this is perfectly meaty. Ow. But again, it all depends on timing, and so you're gonna need a lot of practice for this. Like I'm still messing this up in this game because the timing is a little different compared to the older Guilty Gears. Um, so it's a perfectly meaty attack, and you're basically shutting down a lot of their options, in that they basically can't do anything except for block or maybe backdash. But we'll go into what you can do with was it with safe jumps in general. Um, so, as you probably noticed, safe jumps are pretty. They don't really get you too much. I mean, like on hit, like if I did some kind of safe jump, like you can get like some kind of combo, which I totally messed up again. All right, see that was pretty decent, right? But the attack is pretty obvious. It's just a jumping overhead attack, right? And all they have to do is pretty much just stand block it. Was it in order to, like, that just basically makes them not want to DP, and that's pretty much it, right? And they just need to block it. The good thing from that is that, uh, this gives you space to start up your own mix-up, because from here, as we previously discussed in like this other lecture I did, which was about your strike throw mix-up. So basically, because the guy is letting you get in on him with this jump in, you can start right here to start attacking or go for the throw immediately. Start your strike throw mix-up from here. So that alone is pretty strong, because it basically is guaranteeing yourself a mix-up. Like you're forcing your opponent immediately into another 50-50 situation, whether they're going to have to hit a button to try to mash out of a throw, or they're going to have to block because they don't want to get frame trapped by like the next block or by the next attack. But sometimes a 50-50 is not good, and it's really good, in fact, to vary your attack options. So now we're going to get into something that's called conditioning. And so conditioning is don't have a really good like definition for this because it's kind of variable, but basically if you prove to the opponent that, or is it, if you do the same attack again or the same method, or you do something the same thing like every single time, your opponent is more inclined to think that that's what you're going to do every time, right? So if I come in with the safe jump and I always do a jumping overhead, was it most people, you're teaching them to block high, and they'll be like, oh man, I got knocked down again. Okay, so I better block high because I see the safe jump is coming in. You can expose this kind of like thinking that they have, and this gives you more space to do other stuff, right? Other kinds of mix-up that might be a little bit more dangerous, but it's whatever it is, whatever you need to do to get the next hit. So, for example, if I always do a high move after 2D from the safe jump setup, what if I do something like this instead? That's a low attack. So that's what we call an empty jump low. Oops, I totally messed up. Right? So that's already a mix-up right there. It's either going to be the normal safe jump in, or you're going to land and then you do the throw. Or, sorry, not the throw, the low. But speaking of throw, you can also just come in and just do a throw, an empty jump throw. You can also do something like a tick throw. Why does a tick throw have to be a grounded attack? It can be an air attack. Punch, grab. So, you can have a low, a throw, a high attack, like a tick and then a high attack to kind of change the timings of what they can expect. But believe it or not, most players are actually pretty good. Like even if you're a beginner, they're pretty good at instinctively hitting the grab button if nothing happens, because the grab attack, the a throw will actually beat an empty jump throw and an empty jump low, because throws in this game are really fast. They're like 2 frames if I'm not mistaken. So, for example, I'm going to have the guy. This is why I had it throw. We're gonna have the guy throw. So I'm gonna go for a knockdown, a jump, but I'm not gonna be able to get my 2K off my low attack because I mean, if you think about it, it makes sense because he should be getting hit by my move, like right on frame 1, but he's already awoke by then. He's woke as fuck already. So, by the time I land and do my 2K, which also has its own like startup frames, he could definitely fit in some kind of throw before anything happens. Like this. In fact, it said punish because I mean I can't do anything. I literally cannot mash anything. So anyway, so the throw option actually beats a lot of things, a lot of empty jump stuff. See, if I did empty jump throw, I don't really get anywhere, because you know he just techs it. So you can kind of, in the lines with conditioning, if you have conditioned this guy to also start throwing, there are also different options to, ways to expose it. If you, the general rule is if you conditioned your opponent to do anything like of one behavior, there's definitely some way to expose that. And if there isn't, they're playing a really top tier character. So anyway, so we have the guy to set to throw. If you go for like a late air dash, so you actually delay your way, before you can actually like land on the ground, or before you actually land on the ground, you can definitely punish the throw attempt as I did right there. So I'm gonna use like jumping dust because he can get a big combo off it. Boom. Oh my god, is that another safe jump setup? Oh my goodness. So anyway, things can go like really haywire if you can get some different hits, and also you get different, as you saw right there, you get different rewards for getting them to do different things. Like if I got them to keep throwing, I can go for like this and go for like a safe jump, or get a little combo and go for a safe jump setup, as opposed to a throw. As I mentioned before, I can't go for a safe jump on this if they DP'd or anything. But I should mention that all those options sound really nice, like the empty jump low, the empty jump throw, or the tick throw, and also even for the delayed, it's what we call a delayed air dash, because this is an anime game and you can air dash. All those sound great and they sound really powerful, but the thing is that none of them are actually safe jumps, and so potentially the opponent can go back to square one to what you were worrying about in the first place and just hit you with DP. So it's kind of a rock paper scissors in this scenario, but it's heavily into the safe jump the person that's doing the safe jumps advantage, because they risk so much more if they get like a DP block. Oops. Why is it doing that? There you go. Ow. I didn't even do it right. Because you can go for a combo, which I messed up. But anyway, those are some safe jumps. If you want to know, okay, well, does my character have any safe jumps? Like, how do I know? The best thing to do is to look up online. And in terms of practicing it, you're actually very lucky, because in Strive there is literally the counter attack setting, so you can get the guy to do a reversal for you. Believe it or not, this was like never an option in like older fighting games, so you always had to like record the guy doing the setup on yourself and then do the reversal yourself and then see if it works or not. But yeah, that's safe jumps. It's not something that you should like. This is not really a beginner tactic. This is more for like upping your game. when you already have like a good grasp of it. But it is something that you should be wary about, and it is very strong. Um, I do know one more safe jump that's not soul related, and so this one's off Kai, and I actually recorded myself because I've never really practiced this, so I just got it like down a couple of times and I recorded it and called it a day. So here's the safe jump. So as you can see, I have to block that hit if I chose to block. And if I try to, oops, if I try to do like 5k, I'm just getting hit in general. But if I try to DP, which I messed up, he blocks it in time. And then he can punish me and do whatever the heck he wants. But yeah, that's the safe jump. If you actually want to know the safe jump on this, it's actually really complicated, or it's not too complicated. But Kai can basically get a safe jump off any Duraclot hit, and the way to get the safe jump, to proceed with the safe jump, is that you have to jump immediately, air dash, and you have to FD to halt your your air momentum. Oops. Because if you see how I FD right now, like I'm one backdash away, and if I don't FD, I'm like in front of him. But if I do this one, I like drop my angle a little bit more, but that makes me land faster. Not very useful for Soul, as I figured out, but I know a lot of Kais do this. Yeah. Also, there's plenty of people who can't do reversals like me, like off like 100% all the damn time. So, most of the times they're gonna just get hit just because they mess up from it anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much safe jumps. The last thing I'll show you about safe jumps or what you can do with them is actually just more for the fun of it. Because in Strive, you kind of can't do this. But in other fighting games, you can. And so I'm going to switch it over to Exerd. So in Exerd, of course, there's also safe jumps, and Soul thrives on safe jumps in this game. But with safe jumps, you can do something called an option select, and now we're getting real nitty-gritty like tech. So an option select is basically like a sequence of inputs that you put in, and because of how the game works, the sequence of inputs will result in different things depending on what actually happened on screen. So, for example, I have Soul doing this safe jump setup on another Soul, and oops, and so I have to block that. Oops. I kind of revealed it already. But basically, if the safe jump, if the the jumping slash connects, nothing happens. But if for any reason the far slash doesn't connect with anything, he's gonna do Tyrant Rave. So let's see if I can get this DP right, this invulnerable move right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, so yeah, you can't DP or you're just gonna get supered, because the invuln will go through their invuln, or because the super is more invulnerable than the Dragon Punch or the Volcanic Viper, so it's just gonna blow through. So if you're asking, well, what's the difference between, why would you ever do this? Because sometimes it can cover more options than you think, because again, this is an option select. So I'm going to try doing a backdash, which will bypass the jumping completely, if I can do this right. But the thing is, the super reaches far enough, and so you get hit anyway. But that's the benefit of doing option selects. Because basically, if I got hit, or if the attack was blocked or hit or anything like that, you can follow through for a combo. But if it didn't, for whatever reason, and there's only so many reasons that it would not hit, because you did something invincible, or you did like a backdash or something like that, the anti-fun technique the anti-fun super will kick in, and it will it would punish them for doing whatever that is. Um, but yeah, this works for like a lot of the characters and whatnot, and it's really strong. Option selects. Was it? But that was mostly a safe jump with option selects. And I guess just to complete this thought with option selects, I will teach you one more thing that you can use in Strive. Where the heck is this name? Okay, here it is. Um, was it RC is a really good way to get option selects going, or a really strong way to introduce option selects. And so in this game, there is like a throw animation, and when you throw someone, there's an additional animation. What you should know about this animation is that you can't do anything. So I'm like trying to mash, like in the beginning frames of it, if I mash Roman cancel, like nothing happens. Like I can get a hit like after it connects, and then you can do like whatever you want. I don't think you can actually get anything from Soul's throw specifically, but other people's throws you can. But what's really important is that because of this animation plays, you can't Roman cancel during the beginning of it. This is great because now you can do an option select, which is again like a very specific sequence that you input, and I'm doing throw and Roman cancel like immediately followed up. And so what's cool is what this option select does is that if the throw does not connect for any reason, you'll get like a purple Roman cancel, like that. But if it does connect, nothing happens, and you got the throw, and you didn't have to waste any 50 meter. But the only reason why the throw wouldn't connect is if the guy like jumped or something. So you can punish stuff like that. Like, let's see, what am I gonna do? Let's write this. And you can just throw them. But anyway, option selects and safe jumps. A safe jump alone is actually an option select because it's a very simple one because it just has one input from its sequence. But basically, when you do the slash, you will either block or you won't block. You'll either block from doing the safe jump, or you won't, or it'll connect because they didn't do any kind of like invincible reversal. But yeah, that's safe jumps.